Welcome on board to our full tour of Queen Mary 2, the last ocean liner at sea. We will show you around all of the facilities and venues on this grand old dame. That's probably a little rude of me as she is still only 21 years old. But we loved her elegance and timeless charm, so come along, we've got lots to show you. Let's start as we mean to go on, in the pub. The Golden Lion is the recreation of a traditional English pub on Queen Mary 2, serving a range of beers and spirits. Food is served in here and is included in your cruise fare. If you like beer, try a flight of Cunard beers and decide on your favourite. I'll let you know mine in our food and drink review. The Golden Lion is nicely spread out with comfortable seating and is a very popular venue, so make sure to get there early before quizzes or other events to make sure that you get a seat. This is especially important if you are travelling as a larger group. There are large screen televisions in here showing sports, so you can keep up with all of the action. There are 2 dartboards on board. If those are the singles, doubles and trebles that you want from the pub, fill your boots. You can even post letters while on board. The photo gallery is where you can browse your photographs taken on board or arrange for a photo session. We never bother, as we can just turn on YouTube to watch ourselves on board in moving pictures. There is a very impressive series of frescoes on Deck 2, depicting North America, South America, Europe and Africa. There is a hidden character on the American fresco, see if you can find it. The ship's bell is on this deck and is rung at 12 PM every day by a crew member in a traditional ceremony. The purser's office, also known as reception on other less posh ships, is where people go to complain or ask for help. There was always a long queue and we were forced to enjoy the queue on several occasions. Fortunately, us British are very good at queuing. The tour office for excursions is also here in the grand lobby. There was always a stunning flower arrangement in there. There is a small casino. I did double my money here. I folded it in half and put it straight back into my pocket. There is an interesting mural on the back wall. In fact, there are lots of interesting things to see on this ship. There are over 5,000 works of art on display. The voyage sales office is where you can go to book future cruises with Cunard. Following our experience, we gave this a hard pass. Sitting on decks 2 and 3 is the Royal Court Theatre. It has very comfortable plush red seats, however some seats upstairs have a restricted view, so get here early for shows to get the best seats. It's also worth noting that there are quite a lot of seats that provide a side-on view of the stage. There are disabled toilets just outside the theatre, and like many of the toilets on this ship, the ladies and gents are discreetly hidden away, so you'll need to go looking for them. Again, straddling decks 2 and 3 is illuminations. This should be a planetarium, but it has not been working for some time, so this operated as a venue for guest speakers and films while we were on board. Cunard Connections is the computer centre, should you need to connect with the modern world. Queen Mary 2 uses Skylink, and although we didn't purchase the Wi-Fi package, I've heard that it is more than adequate for most uses. There are galleries of famous people who have travelled on Cunard ships. This is a very interesting way to while away half an hour or so. This is one of the sloping corridors down to deck 3L, which is a strange and confusing deck layout. Down here there is also a coffee and tea station, which is always quiet, a handy spot to grab a drink and enjoy some peace and quiet. There is also an exhibition of the history of Cunard, and it feels like Queen Mary 2 could be a museum with all the art and exhibitions on display. On the other side of the ship is an area to play board games or jigsaws. Monopoly doesn't count as a board game because it's rubbish. The Britannia restaurant is on deck 2, as is the Britannia Club restaurant, which has a slightly different menu for Britannia Club passengers. For a main dining room, it is a stunningly elegant space with an illuminated ceiling that doesn't feel like you are on the lower deck in the centre of a ship. The tables are nicely set with Cunard branded plates. You can choose to dine separately or with others, However, some of the tables for two are barely a hand width apart. The Tapestry by Barbara Brookman dominates the restaurant. It measures 6.4 metres by 4.5 metres and depicts the Queen Mary 2 with the New York skyline in the background, and was hand-woven in Poland. The art gallery on board is Clarendon. I love to browse these galleries, not to buy anything, heaven forfend, but to get some inspiration for my own paintings. This picture of a Jack Russell encouraged me to paint a picture of our dog Audrey. If you like Lowry's Little People, take a look at this portrait of Audrey Hepburn, which is made up of hundreds of little people. I found this absolutely fascinating. Back up to deck 3, towards the rear, is the Queen's Room, a staple venue for Cunard ships. This is the location for the dance floor, and the 1920s, 1930s Art Deco styling adds to the ambience. This is the location for Queen Mary 2's famed afternoon teas. Get there early to ensure a seat. It is also the location for bands in the evening, and we also attended a Royal Shakespeare Company workshop in this venue. You have to walk through the opulent and elegant Queen's Room to access the nightclub, which is right at the rear of deck 3. It's a small club that is set over 2 floors with a mezzanine overlooking the dance floor. This was the location for the ubiquitous silent disco. It was also where the young people hung out, and by young I mean under 70. Remaining on deck 3, we visit Sir Samuel's, named after the founder of Cunard. This is a place to get a selection of coffees and teas at an additional cost. You can also get a selection of fabulous pastries from here, which are included with your cruise fare. Just opposite Sir Samuel's is the chart room. This is a lounge-style environment where you can enjoy classical music or some peace and quiet in very comfortable chairs. Through the chart room and accessible off the grand lobby is the champagne bar, where you can choose from the extensive range of champagnes on board. Again, this is an attractive environment to indulge yourself in a glass of fizz. There was no Asti Spumante or Promenade, so I passed, and it looks like a lot of other people did as well, as it was very quiet at night. Also on deck 3 are the Mayfair shops, selling jewellery, clothing, handbags, Cunard branded merchandise, and a selection of essentials such as medication, suntan cream and hygiene products. Deck 4 and deck 5 are all cabins, so let's go up and get some fresh air on deck 6, where we have the Minnows pool. If you enjoy sunbathing, this is a nice spot at the rear of the ship to watch the wake. There is also a small splash pool for children. The rest of deck 6 is cabins. Heading up to deck 7, we come across the fitness centre, open between 6 AM and 8 PM. It's only a small gym, but is adequately kitted out. Also on this deck is the Mareel Wellness and Beauty Centre, which I did not require on this cruise, as I was quite well and beautiful enough. We did, however, take a look around at the facilities and the hydrotherapy suite, which all looked excellent. Remaining on deck 7, we came to the Corinthia Lounge, which, as well as being our muster station in an emergency, was one of our favourite venues on board. It is a comfortable piano bar and hosted music and quizzes. It also provided some very nice light breakfast snacks, which weren't available elsewhere on board, so it is really well worth a visit. Next door to the Corinthia Lounge is the King's Court Buffet, which is the main buffet venue for the Queen Mary 2. Good hand washing facilities are provided on entry, seating is well spaced out, and the tables are laid for you with cups, cutlery and napkins. There are a few different serving stations within King's Court, so it's worth spending a little time to acquaint yourself with their location. There is the main central buffet area, and it is worth noting that it is not a self-service buffet. Staff will serve you from behind the counter. This is good as it avoids cross-contamination from tongs and serving spoons. Towards the rear of deck 7 is the Grills Lounge, accessible to those passengers in the grill suites. We took a sneaky look in, but it didn't appear to be any better appointed than the lounges that are accessible to all passengers, so we didn't feel that we were missing out on much. However, the Queen's Grill and the Princess Grill dining rooms were a distinct step up from the Britannia and Britannia Club dining rooms. Back outside on deck 7 is the Promenade deck. It's a lovely wide deck and we were happy to see this as we love a prom deck. 3 laps is just over a mile. Being that little bit nearer to the ocean on a prom deck makes you feel more connected with the experience of being at sea. Is that just us, or do you feel the same? We also liked the steamer style wooden loungers with comfortable Cunard branded cushions that were on this deck. Up to deck 8 and the terrace bar and pool. There are hot tubs here and very comfortable lounges. This was also the location of a bandstand where the house band would perform. The Veranda restaurant is the steakhouse on board, which is a specialty dining option for an additional price. It was a pleasant and intimate restaurant. At the other end of deck 8 is a bookshop where you can buy books and a library where you can read books for free. As budget cruisers, you can guess our preferred option. The library is home to one of the largest collections of books at sea. More than 10,000 books at the last count. It's a beautiful, quiet space for all you bibliophiles out there. Shh! Sorry. On deck 9, we have the Commodore Club. This is another comfortable piano lounge at the front of the ship. There are views to the front, but you have to be positioned by a window to enjoy them fully. Unlike some ships, this does not have full panoramic views. It was a very pleasant venue to enjoy a late night drink before bed. The boardroom is a place for members of a not-so-secret society to meet other members of a not-so-secret society in front of a rubbish electric fire. I'm not a member and didn't meet anyone, but if I did, I probably couldn't tell you anyway. On the other side of the Commodore Club is Churchill's, which is a cigar lounge. Here you can purchase and smoke cigars and pipes only. If you sit on this side of the Commodore Club, you may smell cigar smoke as the doors open and close. On deck 11 is the observation deck, giving excellent views of the bow of the ship. The Atlantic room is a games room and hosts bridge classes. The Grill's Terrace, reserved exclusively for Grill Suite guests, is also on this deck. Again, it was not a space that made us feel we were missing out on anything by being in steerage class. On deck 12 is the Pavilion Pool and Bar. This is an enclosed pool with 2 whirlpool hot tubs and comfortable lounges. There are also 2 table tennis tables and a golf simulator called the Fairways. Back outside on the deck, there is a large open deck area where the Boardwalk Cafe is located. This was not open on our cruise. On deck 12 is the kennels, where dogs and cats can be accommodated on transatlantic voyages. There are 24 kennels on board, and they can be booked up years in advance. Right at the top of the ship on deck 13 is the sun deck, with a helicopter landing pad and sports facilities, including shuffleboard, pickleball and golf. The lookout is the highest vantage point for views from the front and is sheltered by glass, so it's perfect for inclement weather. There is also a bridge viewing area which can often be closed. No photography is allowed in this area. Laundrettes are situated on 5 levels and were free to use. There are also ironing boards. There are 16 passenger lifts on board, plenty of choice for a lift disco. When doing a lift disco, don't forget to press the button, otherwise you go up and down, and up and down. There is also a lift which gives great outside views. Thank you for watching our video. If you found this useful, please have a look at our other videos and consider liking and subscribing. Until next time, happy travelling.